Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. And today, we're giving away $100 worth of crypto if we hit 1,500 likes within 24 hours. If you want to enter, there's just 3 simple steps. Make sure you press the like button, make sure you are subscribed, and make sure you comment something down below. That is basically it. Having said that, guys, it's been a pretty crazy day, especially for XRP. We just got a very interesting tweet, a very famous tweet as well, from SOULJA Boy. Now, if you do not know who SOULJA Boy is, he is a rapper slash entertainer. I do not know what exactly to call it. He used to be very popular in the rap slash music business. He had a couple of really big hits in 2009, 10, 11, something like that. Then he went quiet for a little while. I think he went on, but it never really popped off. And then right now, the last couple of years, he's been looking to find some fame again. Yet, he has 5 million followers over on Twitter. He has a lot of followers over on Instagram. He has a lot of influence. He has a lot of followers on YouTube, I believe, as well. And he has been going all day here about, or going on all day about some different cryptos. For example, one of his tweets was, "Thanks, guys," after he, I think, just showed that he was interested in crypto somewhere. I don't know exactly where, but he has really, I think, put that up a couple more times. He said here, "Thanks, guys, bought some BNB, DGB, TRX, KLV, ZPay," I do not even know what that is, and FDO. "What's next? Let's go." And a lot of people replied saying what their favorite coins were, basically. And then a little bit later, he went over to Twitter to state as well that, again, he was looking into some. Crypto is the wave, it's lit. And here you can see, how do I purchase XRP, as he is supposedly using Coinbase here to purchase after it went up like crazy. To me, that's also a little bit ridiculous. Why would you buy it once it goes up, something like that? But somebody, TM Crypto here, said XRP is in a midst of a lawsuit from the US SEC, bro, basically trying to get him to not do it. And he replied saying, "Oh wow, I need some type of Bitcoin news tracker or something, thanks," where I don't really get that sentence. Now, if you're wondering, what is this going to have to do in terms of influence? Like, is this going to do anything positive for crypto? Supposedly not. He has an influence, he has an audience, yes. But first of all, his audience is not really the people that you want in your crypto space. Basically, I believe people who do follow him still, there's a small part for the music and a good part basically for the trolling slash just entertainment, but basically kids, I'm assuming. You know, so a good part of that audience is most likely not the guys you want to have in crypto, because I'm assuming a lot of them are weak holders. Again, I cannot be too certain, but when I'm trying to compare this to Keemstar actually bought XRP, and he didn't really put too much side to it, right? He didn't put too much on the side. He just put, "I'm betting on this one, let's go for it," right? And of course, that one is also risky because, hey, if you're betting on something you don't know for sure, you're also going to get a lot of fraudsters, but in a different way. You know, he just basically said to all these people that crypto is a risk, and if you're getting in, you might lose everything, right? You might just lose. If you go in it from that perspective, you really might be a lot less keen on selling it at a small loss or basically having weak hands. With SOULJA Boy, I just feel like his audience is going to be a little bit less immature. On the contrary, Keemstar with the drama alert, the previous guy who got into XRP, the big influencer, also has a very young audience basically, so I'm not too sure about these things. I'm just saying, I do not think these influencers are very nice for the crypto space, yet they're very necessary. In terms of numbers, they're doing a good job. In terms of XRP numbers, it didn't really do too much. He got into it, but he didn't purchase because he didn't know how. I'm not too sure if he really wants to go for it now even. But again, he's not too good with crypto anyway, I guess. By the way, join Discord. A link is down below. It'll stay down below forever, but just join. It is down there, so check it out. And yeah, in terms of numbers, it's good. In terms of real holders, I do not know if it's really good. However, on a different end, out of these couple of millions of people, I don't know how many are real and how many are fake, but let's say just he has 1 million real followers, maybe 500,000. You know, maybe 10,000 people are really here to hold, whereas, you know, 400,000 people might just check it out and leave it at that. But then there's 10,000 people who really hold the crypto, which is really good to build a basis, right? Because I think a lot of people underestimate how good these influencers are in getting people to come over, right? If Drake, for example, or pick a very popular artist, singer, whatever, if he were to really put up saying, "I've bought XRP, I bought crypto," I do not know if the price is going to move a lot, but there's going to be such a huge amount of interest inside of it, right? Just pick your most favorite Twitter person who doesn't, okay, I want to say the president, but that's of course stupid. That would be too good. I'm talking about just an influencer who doesn't have to do with economics, basically. If that person were to really get into it, there's a good chance if he has millions and millions of followers that a lot of people are just going to follow him through. That's why I think this is really important, and it's just another step towards the bigger picture, right? That's at least my opinion on these matters. Then David Swartz said, it's actually a bigger threat. Let's first quickly say, check out GSX. It is gold-backed coin. It's the first of its kind. It's basically a growth coin, and if you want to kind of understand what it does and what it means, I still don't know why it says 0% bonus. Maybe the whole bonus structure is actually over now. It was 20% yesterday. Today, of course, should have been 19, but it says 0, which could be, again, that right now there's no bonus anymore. There is a 5% bonus for using my link, and it's 10 cents a pop right now. But basically what it is gold and gold-rich land that is backing this GSX. And as time goes on, the land/gold should also keep increasing, which should also keep increasing the valuation of the coin. Plus, there's some other cool schemes inside of it. But again, just check it out. It's not a certain thing, but you may as well check it out, right? Then David Swartz said, so we know exactly what happened with that Bitcoin Doublespend transaction. This is referring to the big FUD, which actually most likely got the crypto prices down quite a lot, especially that of Bitcoin. So we know exactly what happened with the Doublespend. It was a weird situation where an attempt was made to raise the fee on a transaction, but the original transaction succeeded instead. I do consider it a Doublespend, a valid transaction that someone could have seen as being confirmed, was later orphaned by a conflicting transaction, but it's also reasonable to not agree that it's actually a Doublespend. It's arguably whether it's an RBF instance or not. Someone could have relied on the first transaction, even if they were aware of the RBF. But it was the low fee of the first transaction that allowed the second transaction to be relayed. Most importantly, there is nothing fundamentally new or even surprising about this, and that's again what a lot of people were saying, oh, how could this be? How could this happen? However, I think all of us knew that everything that happened right now was basically already possible from the get-go, and we all I would say knew it, but let's see here. Most importantly, there's nothing new. Everyone was aware this could happen, and nobody would advise relying on a low-fee transaction with only one confirmation. The only use cases this would affect are impractical and inadvisable ones. So, technically interesting, but no big deal. It does underscore the Bitcoin blockchain's uselessness for low-value, high-speed transfers, but the transaction fee levels probably did that already anyway. And then some people got into it really heavily. By the way, the RBF, I think a lot of you guys might not understand what that means. That means replace by fee. That's again something you really know or should know if you're into Bitcoin. But I think a lot of you guys are not too much into proof of work anyway, right? And a lot of you guys are into XRP, then you probably have never come across this. So, yeah, it has to do with nodes, right? Just think about it like that. Look it up if you want to know more. But tell me one thing. Why XRP is always the best, but the price is always the worst? And why Bitcoin is always the worst, but the price is always the best? You can have the best car, but if no one wants to buy that car, it will never be driven by someone. You know, it's not the best English, but I think I know exactly what he means. So, you would think that when better things come out, people just start to hoard it and just go on over, right? But actually, that's the fun part about things in life, basically. It's not always that best meets best. It's not always that the best things succeed. It's very often even, I would say 9 out of 10 times, that better things do not succeed. You know, we should agree that there are better options than YouTube out there. There are better options than Twitter out there. There are better options than Google out there. Pick something, there will always be a better option. The same thing for Bitcoin. However, what defines better, right? Because with Bitcoin, you could say better means a higher price, right? Well, there are a couple of coins with a higher price, but Bitcoin has a very high one. So there's only a couple of ones that are better. And if you want to pick one that's better, but also more trustworthy because it has so much intrinsic value in terms of mining power, then again, you're not going to pick any one better because Bitcoin is definitely the highest. Again, if you just want to pick the highest intrinsic value regardless, and again, intrinsic, I am putting in the electricity/mining equipment that's being put in to get this, because of course it doesn't really have intrinsic value in the normal sense, like for example gold does with the real metal, then Bitcoin is really the most relied upon. If you're talking about the best in terms of institutional support, Bitcoin is also the best one. If you're talking about the best in terms of search results, Bitcoin will win. right? And that's, again, where you want to take the question towards. Because if you were to look at which coin is really the most useful for payments, XRP wins the case. If you're looking for which coins have the most clarity, and then turn which one is the best, basically, in terms of clarity, Bitcoin and Ethereum would win. You know, and that's, again, it just really depends on how you ask this question and what purpose you're calling it out for. If you're talking about an all-round crypto, it still matters what type of variables you'd like to attach to an all-round crypto. Because if you put regulation into that whole list and one coin doesn't tick that box, you should, theoretically speaking, be able to tick it off all the way, because if it's not properly regulated, it really doesn't mean jack shit, right? That's, again, something you could argue about. And also, it could also be that it's the best, but it doesn't have the most amount of people, or it doesn't have a huge amount of people. For example, there is a better Twitter, but if there's only 10 people on there, it doesn't matter how good it is, because people will still not really use it until there's more people to use it with, basically. And again, that's a very conceptual flaw with things, because, well, you as an individual do not want to join something which has no people, but then you will really never get people, right? And that's, again, why there's always paid marketing necessary to get these things rolling, or, I guess, big influence, basically, necessary. However, again, think about it, right? That even though XRP might be clearly superior in quite a lot of manners, it doesn't actually mean that it will be the number one. It doesn't actually mean that it will be the best for some other people. Because there will always be people hating it with valid reasons as well. It just depends on your point of view. And even though, to me, XRP is really, really good, somebody else with a different set of variables, different set of parameters, basically, looking at it differently, could get to a whole different conclusion, and that's fine, because there will still be enough people supporting XRP, and everything is going to be fine. Because one thing we can rule out, it is not a security. Again, I might have to put any more there, because you can argue that XRP used to be a security. That is valid, but it is not a security anymore. And so the lawsuit, it might lose on a couple accounts, right? We might get a lawsuit, for example, Brad Garlinghouse shouldn't have sold. He sold XRP that was meant for XRP ecosystem, not for his own personal pockets. That type of stuff, right, they might lose. But the ultimate verdict of XRP being a security, nah, I don't really think they can lose that one. I personally do not think so. Then Peter Schiff went over to Twitter, and I liked it just because I was so confused. He said, the idea that Bitcoin is scarce as there's only 21 million is nonsense. One Bitcoin merely represents an arbitrary quantity of 100 million Satoshis. So it's the total number of Satoshi that must be considered. With a supply of 2.1 quadrillion Satoshi, they are anything but scarce. And Charles, rightfully so, said, "You okay, Peter? You feeling all right? Everything going okay in your life? Do you need some help?" Because, of course, this really does not make any single piece of sense in my mind. I even wanted to just retweet this and come with a couple of counter examples just to explain how crazy his thinking is, but all right, let him do whatever he wants, basically. So one conceptual flaw already is that he says we should look at Satoshi for measuring Bitcoin, basically. He says one Bitcoin represents an arbitrary quantity of 100 million Satoshi. So however way you want to see that, that still makes Bitcoin scarce. It might not make Satoshi scarce. However, it is still scarce since there's a certain quantity at maximum, right? That's, again, 100 million times 21 million. So, again, it might not be scarce in terms of real quantity in sense like, 2.1 quadrillion of something is not scarce. But if you start to look at it differently, things are made of atoms, and some people just went to argue it that way. Like, his whole reasoning doesn't really make any sense. So yeah, I'm not even going to quote on it too much. It's just this guy really wants to get attention in some way, shape, or form. It is so completely crazy. I really do not know what his point is. I really think he just wants to get more followers this way for people who hate crypto, and is doing a pretty good job as he has a lot of followings. And again, he's just pumping up gold, right? I think that's just basically his niche. He's just trying to get people who really despise crypto to follow him and just sell them gold, basically, or sell them stuff. Just make money off of them in some way, shape, or form. Because all this hatred here, it makes no freaking sense. And his explanation here of how Bitcoin is not scarce by claiming something about Satoshi makes even less sense. I can sometimes get so tired of this type of stuff. Well, yeah, I think it's just a marketing ploy, because it did work, though. There's a lot of people who got into it. Peter McCormick said, "Congratulations, you..." Oh, let's go here first. Pork said, "The supply of Bitcoin versus real goods is what matters. The ratio really is scarce. Your argument is nonsensical, as it would also apply to euro versus euro cents. Peter Schiff said, but Bitcoin is not used as money, nor is it as a commodity. It's only used to speculate, so its relationship to actual goods is relevant. Peter McCormick said, you just identified why Bitcoin is better than gold. The subdivision is a feature which gold cannot achieve. This is again why Bitcoin would actually be better in terms of money and has another feature that gold does not have. Peter Schiff, however, said, when you subdivide something of zero value, it makes no difference how many you have. The point is that sats are not scarce. There's plenty to go around for everyone who wants one. It's only when you arbitrarily bundle 100 million into a single Bitcoin that they seem scarce. And Peter McCormick, a beautiful quote here, said, when you subdivide something of zero value, it makes no difference how many you have. The point is that atoms are not scarce. There's plenty to go around for everyone who wants one. It's only when you arbitrarily bundle 3.36 times 10 to the power 27 into a single ounce of gold that they seem scarce. Once more, I also wanted to explain, like, it's only when you bundle a lot of pieces of code together that this is going to make sense, because, well, you might as well just put it as, well, Bitcoin is just a line of string. You know, it's just basically a string of data. So, yeah, you know, it's really not scarce if you start to think about it that way. There's so many strings of data inside there that, yeah, you know. Or on a different end, you could actually leave it all in one small string. So it's extremely, extremely scarce. It's all just in one little document. You can have all the Bitcoins in existence. And then AAVE. AAVE is the latest DeFi protocol to implement Layer 2. As Ethereum continues to suffer due to its inability to scale, which is going to get fixed though, DeFi projects are seeking alternatives, and AAVE, for example, opted to integrate Layer 2 and bring its tokens to Matic Network. Transacting these tokens is faster and cheaper as is done on sidechains and plasma chains. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I am very sad that I did sell my AAVE. I'm really eager to get back into it, but the problem is it's so ridiculously high that it's always difficult to buy it again, right? You guys also agree with me there? So I'm thinking, should I buy $1,000 worth of AAVE? Yes or no? It already went up 11.5% today. Fuck! No way. Okay, that's really it's at all-time high once more. Okay, that makes me want to, you know, break my own legs. That's very annoying. I also wonder what the profitability ratio was from Lend when it switched over from Lend to AAVE, because AAVE right now is 16th in the coin market cap. That's ridiculous how fast that went. But yeah, again, it's one of my most profitable coins, but I could have actually gotten about 4 times the price by now if I just held on through. But again, that's always the risk with crypto. You never really know, right? You never really know. However, guys, thank you all for watching this video. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video. Take care, everybody.